Folks, so in this video, what I'm going to do today is just go through the list of high tide flags so that it's an update on where these individual high tide flag stocks are and like are they setting up, how are they setting up, and stuff like that, right? And so we can also I will also give some comments on the kind of price action that's going on in some of the names which might be really good looking, some of the names which you might already be in. So just to begin with, you can fast forward it to 1.25 or 1.5x, okay, if it is like too slow for you. The second thing is I want to start off with this guy, Inox Wind. And Inox Wind is right now making a lot of a very good true pole, almost a true pole, right? Like so if you see this in on a weekly, you will see that every week there is either a higher high or a higher low, and that basically constitutes your true pole. And the other good thing about this true pole is that it also have humongous volume. So why I wanted to stress on this is not to tell you about the true pole part, but to tell you that most high tide flag का जो पोल बनता है that emerges out of a big base, okay. And so Inox Wind was a big base breakout. So this was a big base breakout day, um, and big base breakout with high volumes are generally the ones which actually gives you very good क्या बोलते हैं इसको follow through, right? So big base breakout, the BVHV Khela Hoppe candle, you guys always see me tweeting these days, is another setup which I am very keen, and probably will do something like this on that very soon. Okay, so with that, let's now take a look at the names, right? So stupid is something which I am very keen, and this could be an entire T1, and if it starts another T2, that would actually make the setup really good. Okay, so instead of, let's say, if you ask me, Prakash, if would you have wanted it to break out today, given the fact that it can go for another second T, I would have said no, I would like a 2T, because then that bigger the base, bigger the breakout, and anything like below 10 days or 2 weeks of a base is sort of, wouldn't say faulty, but there's always a chance that those guys will not follow through. So this is obviously like little longer, but ठीक है, like 4 to 5 weeks is really great, and that would even make it better. But again, like this could break out tomorrow. Okay, I'm just giving you other tidbits. So Schwann Energy was a sort of a cheat breakout here, but you see what happens on an O'Neill pivot. The answer is supply comes at the O'Neill pivot, right? So the supply came, and now we are probably going to make a second T. Second T anywhere between 60 to 40% of the first T is a great thing. So Schwann Energy gets better with today's price action, and that is why also O'Neill pivot breakout entry is the most seeked out breakout while trading high tide flags, because it gives you sort of a confirmation. And if you can catch them at the point, like for example, like IFKI was a O'Neill pivot breakout, although this sort of failed, and if it didn't hit your stop loss, and if you were able to catch it here, then the thing is, like, the first day ka follow through itself takes the price to some point that then you can either decide to de-risk then and there, so that the whole setup becomes then risk free, or you at least you are on some level of profit. So mentally that makes a huge difference, right? So IFKI IFCI is a very healthy action today. Yesterday again, you see the volumes are getting slower and slower, so a couple of days possibly in the worst case scenario it can again come and this test this zone, which is okay in my opinion. So this is looking great. Apollo just again becoming better and better. You see the last 3-4 days ka volume. I'm very much again, like, there is nothing certain, but like this is how they work. They come and like sort of do a double bottom breakout, and then this would be the pivot to get in, like to this is like forming a tight area now, and essentially Yeah, this is like forming a tight area, so this is getting better. Angel 1, so Angel 1, like I said, today would have been sort of the breakout candle. And again, coming back to the point of small bases, the mass should at least be, so this was a small base, and that's why we had some selling. But today's day volume was huge. Closing was not that great, but I would still say that it's a very good sign. So going forward, we can possibly like have a inside wick sort of tightness, so which is basically the next subsequent day's candle can be housed inside the wick, which would then also then again mean that there is more tightness, and eventually possibly the follow through will come. So Bhel is again still just making the flag cover pole, and when this guy makes the mast, it's gonna be really nice one. BSE again similar action to sort of this base. You can see that it sort of came back and then made a handle, and this one was a little higher up, but setting really nicely. There is no entry right now. So DB Realty one could have entered today, and if you want to classify that, like I would say that it's okay. It's like a DTL based breakout. But again, like this, if this is the entry, then this would be your point of stop loss. I would now think that it will probably make a tighter area here, and if that's the case, then that would be another entry. And obviously, the O'Neill pivot entry is a really lucrative one in this case. Going forward, see IMCO Elecon, it has so it's now the second time retesting the previous breakout point, and like the yeah, I want this to go up violently now. If that's not the case, that means that the more longer it sort of spends time around this levels, which means that like even if it's not finding much supply here, that there is, it's not like violently going up, means that like there is no demand coming in to sort of push it. So that is something you want to be looking at. Again, Electrocast still, if you remember, we sort of modified the pattern after the breakout failure, and looks like this ascending channel is sort of holding their fact. So pair fact today, right? So again, like I remember telling about this, that fact has this, every stock has characteristics, and fact characteristics basically it sort of goes on this long basis with very low volumes, where when it doesn't do much, and the same case was here. But we had some strength coming in a couple of days ago, and today there was a full-fledged breakout. Again, sometimes what happens is that after this kind of a big base breakout, there will be another couple of days which then it hangs around, goes sideways. But again, like if you were able to catch this today, so because that there was a clean pivot here, so that would have been your GTT entry. So that's why GTT entries also work best once you can spot them. Now, someone asked me in private message today that did Jikre invalid, is the Jikre flag invalidated with today's candle? Actually, in my opinion, this has actually made the setup even better, because had it broken out from here, this would have been a very small base, and that follow through would not have gone longer. So now what happens is like, okay, fine, this is a small VCP which actually broke down, but you can see that there's not much volume in that. So I think it's a low volume sort of retest, and maybe I would be even happier if it actually comes to about these levels, and then forms a tight area and then goes back, because the pole is like supreme. So it's something which you can like look very closely. GMDC. So GMDC again are going sideways after, and these are like basically inside bars. This bar is inside the previous bar. This bar is also inside the first bar, which was the bar that tried to break out. And so this looks good. This looks really good. It's like a cup and handle kind of a structure. Green power, it broke out after the 2T. So this is basically the mast is a 2T. um, Again, like I don't like the volumes in here, but these anything which has green or power and stuff like that, they are gonna run like crazy. Have been high rec is again like not a great this one. So what I'll do is I will actually remove this. So we'll just track it as so there is 2 points right now for you. This is the base ka pivot high, and this is the pivot low of the base. So we'll just track it like this. IFGL also like very small base and intense, not so great. ITI. So again, some people might well say that okay, probably this has been basing for a little longer, which is 32 bars, 49 days, which means 7 sevens are 49, right? So 7 weeks, and textbook highlight flags would be like 3 to 5 weeks of this one. So we basically call this an IHTF because highlight flags in general at least at more than like 10k market cap, a crore market cap, it's little rare, right? And so we will still consider this, and it's actually looking really good. As Yeah, so but again has to break out sooner than later again. So Balaji, possibly there might be coming some I can see some volumes coming in, but guilty, sorry, innocent until proven guilty, so it has to. So this guy has been such a painful guy to me, at least because I hold this some in my this one portfolio. And so like volumes are almost nil after this, and again, as long as this low is being kept, this is still fine. But the sooner the follow through comes and the breakout comes, it's better. So Kalyan jeweler, now you have a clear pivot here because it's a pivot high, two pivot high join, and now you have a resistance there. And the day it breaks out from there, that is basically gonna be our cheat pivot entry there. And also there is some sort of volatility contraction happening, T1, T2, possibly T3 here, and then the breakout comes. Can also be open for A but entry. Maharashtra seamless, very nice. This one follow through, so there's nothing to. Yeah, so this is what I was saying, that when the mast is small, when the base with the number of days of basing is smaller, then basically generally what happens, the breakout then culminates into actually an extended like base on base kind of a structure, right? So always be wary of that. And again, it's not a problem trading this, but you also then have to keep your realities, expectations in check, because this is happening, then this might happen, right? Modison. So Modison was a great breakout yesterday of the sort of a cheat pivot here. Is a very tight area, and again O'Neill pivot ke baad a violent rejection, but nothing is bad here. Like if there is another second T coming in the space, and that would be even a better breakout. Murudeshwara Ceramics, you see we have a double bottom kind of a structure for now, and I like the volumes. And again, this is not something which we are trading, but you can do anticipations anywhere. I mean, if you develop an eye where you can actually you can identify these sort of reversal pivots with a high fidelity, and you can do that like, I mean, by looking at a lot of structures. But that's your edge, basically. It doesn't have to be by the book, how some people do it, some other people say it, or in this case, how I am dictating you to do. Like I'm not asking you to trade these here, but like in general, in your trading, like be as creative as you can be. Um, uh, and so there has to be a healthy mix of your creativeness with which presents an edge to you. And again, don't be like just thinking about like, oh yeah, mera edge hai, but it actually has to then reflect on your numbers, on your trading sheet, right? So yeah, quick detour, like for example, and this sort of anticipation can be done in anywhere. So today I entered one of the Amine names, which was actually basing at the bouncing from the second base, second bottom of the base, right? Double bottom base. So again, these are patterns which are very fractal, in the sense they will occur in all time frames. In there it was in weekly, in this it's in daily, and but the price action principles would have to be remain the same. You know that when it's going down, there is like volume less, and then when it's going up, there's a spurt of volume coming in. So those basic uh, price action principles, which basically tells you the 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 interplay of demand and supply has to be there, right? And then you can take the liberty to do anything you want. Nayakal, the new India Assurance whatever, is again one of the most amazing flags there is going to be. And again, the if you see this huge 95% wala pole was built due to a big base breakout, right? So big base breakout with volume are powerful, powerful. Like, and once sort of the Khela Hobe candle appears, there is a very high probability that after the breakout, it sort of follows through. Nitco again, like you see, this is what it does. This is what it does when it has a ascending or sort of a wedging structure. Omics has been very क्या बोलते हैं उसको, like so I'm forgetting the word, but like basically the emotion of like tumse na ho payega, like but I'm still hopeful, because see, when there is any triangle breakout, right? So what happens is that the best time for it to constructively break out is basically one third of the triangle. So let's say this is the total triangle, because this is where you have the apex, okay, of the triangle, and then the length of the base, which is basically the triangle, is 81 days. Now you divide this 3, that gives you 3 2 just 6, 2 1 3 7 21, right? So 27, then you into 2, so that means like 2/3 of this base would be 54 days. 54 days is somewhere here. So 54 days is 2/3 of the base, and this is around the time, like around 2/3 of the base, a healthy base breakout from any kind of triangle should happen. And so right now it's right at the moment where one should expect the base breakout. But let's see. I mean, like very disappointed is the word. Disappointed with this price action, but hopefully this one's gonna take us out. Orient Ceratec, that's a pivot. PPL is after breakout, similar to, I think, a lot of other names. Similar to ICFI is now retesting the previous breakout. Ratan India. So again, this was a sort of a breakout during the day, and then I knew that this is the problem. It's a small base, and then could again do this twiggling. So I don't like that kind of a price action. Solar Industries. So Solar Industries is we have the bottom of the first T, right? So first T is peak, like 25%. That's within what we want to trade a high dive flag. And then today's candle was also decent, and so again, this we are not trading, but this is a very viable strategy. This is how people trade pullbacks. And if they see that there is a series of lower highs, and the day a higher high appears, which is today, they basically enter that, and this is the stop loss, but it's just setting up in this case. start trend. No, so really good follow through today after yesterday's breakout of this very tight area, right? So this would have been a cheat pivot here. Now again, you know that what comes at O'Neill pivot. O'Neill pivot पे आएगा थोड़ा supply, so that has to be seen कि supply आएगा and then 2T बनाएगा या this guy will go on to break out. Talbros Auto, this is like getting really nice. Everything is good. You see the EPS change, sales, blah blah blah, all those things which I don't understand, but I am smart enough to know that these things are important, and so this is a very tight area. Tata Invest also getting better and better, and we have a very tight area right now. And see, like if you want to trade these, like you will just need to put a GTT above this level, and you will just get in. Like don't have to see the charts again and again. So you see what happens here. Bajaj Hindustan sort of broke down from this contraction. So T1, T2, and we're possibly hoping for a T3. Could turn out to be so what happens is now, like I'll show you again an example of pattern morphing. Okay, this is what it's called, pattern morphing. I'll write it down for you because this is very important once you go into higher level of technical analysis and how to like interpret chart patterns. And because at the end of the day everything sort of everything repeats. So what probably is now there, so now what might happen is that now you can see that this is forming the shape of a descending channel, right? So so now, as long as this descending channel, I mean, let's say it comes up, then again comes back, and then possibly here or like the midline of the channel, and then a breakout. As long as that happens, it's still fine, right? As long as the master peak, this one would be, so we still have like, let's say 2025 would be at around 28 level. So that still gives so much of space for the headed or the flag to develop. Although this is not a high flag because the pole length is not like 100%, near close to 100%. But again, I'm just showing you how things turn up in the market and how you can like then make some anticipations. And some people will say that, oh, technical analysis doesn't allow you to do that. Like, we are not doing technical analysis, man. What we are doing is we are trying to trade something the best way one can trade. So the bike hospital again had a really good day today. Great candle. It's also triple B. Triple B basically tells you that the strength in the base is now back, and possibly a breakout might happen. And I think I also alerted about this looking very nice in the group. So hopefully this guy will break out. Second T formation going on, looks really good. Just look at the volumes, and looking like a wow. MDRC. So 1 point solution is something which I really like, also because it's I think a micro cap IT companies, and people don't realize, like, I don't know if it's IT or not. Yeah, probably IT. People don't realize this because IT sector, as the indices have not been doing well. But if you go and see the relative strength, which means basically the stocks which have done really well in the last 3 months or so, dude, you will see IT small cap companies, man. Sorry, micro cap companies. So again, because small cap has been like resting for a couple of days now, and that's why many of your portfolios, including mine, might not look really good. But when it then sets up basis completely, then sets up and then breaks out, would be really good. So yeah, Pritika Auto, could turn out to be a 1T, or again, like, this is a pivot now because this is a pivot high, lower than that, right? So now we don't know, could be like, so this is now housed inside the previous wick, so inside wick and then break out, or like form a second T, lower, deeper second T. MBL Infra looking good, looking good. Again, like you see, someone asked me in the group today that I don't know, I didn't even see the chart of that, but is this a high tide flag? And then also asked me about that. So hey, so the second T is lower than the first T. Like as long as it's a second T, you know, it doesn't matter. So let's see. So the first T is minus 17%. The second T is minus 14%. Yes, it's a second T. You know. Now, ideally, we would like it to be like around 50% the first T, but it's not. But it's still a second T. It doesn't matter if it is lower or not. You know. So yeah. So this is basically how a classical um, uh, like this is some sort of a pennant, right? So the two lines are converging, and this is actually a very very constructive action. So looking good. So Sasta Sundar, I have now joined the list because now it's getting better and better. T1, T2, and yeah, one you can just draw this line, or you can say, okay, I'm gonna do this. You know, both are correct. Like, don't get into the impression that only horizontal line works. I mean, horizontal lines are really good. Like they're really good. But again, people can still trade the DTL breakouts, right? The thing is, you have to know कि DTL breakout के बाद आपको क्या expect करना है, हाँ? Right? So Suzlon is now again getting better. So this is T1, this is T2. T2 is getting really tight, and so one could say that okay, this is the pivot above which you will see the 1, 2, 3 breakout, right? AGSTRA. I just put it in here, but probably the pole is not long. But just to show you, like, see, small. This is a great flag. Okay, until this breakout, it was a really great flag. But because it was not a bigger base, sometimes what happens that you will not get the follow through immediately. Huh? So JP Associates, this is getting really nice, so 86%. So you can see that some of the names I've added. So JP Power, these are below 20 rupees names, but I've still added because they are really great high tide flags actually. So pole length is near 100. You have a T1, T2. This was possibly a breakout today, which sort of squatted, and I would say this is still like 50% bulls, 50% bears. And if there is any sort of pullback, then the same pivot can be used to take an entry. And the fact that there are volumes are coming in tells me that this guy is probably going to break out very soon. JP Power is also a really nice high tide flag, and so you could see that yesterday was a DTL base breakout. Or also like a pullback confirmation kind of an entry yesterday, and this is also a really nice flag. So that is gone. But the next one could be like, let's say, around this level, like 14.10. It forms a tight area here with 2-3 candles and then breaks out. That's a great cheat entry, and the obvious entry would be above the ONP. Now ONP के लिए आप any sort of, like, because they're all like, they're very small, this one, right? So ऐसा नहीं है कि 15.2 ही चाहिए, like somewhere here also 15 like a round number, and never had that 15 been crossed and closed. So that could be your ONL pivot here. So I'm just laying everything down for you guys. So that's the video for today. Yeah, let me know if you guys have any questions, and we'll possibly only meet Friday, because I just realized that every day 8:30 is not also feasible for a lot of you, and also definitely not feasible for me. And I think 1 hour long session on Friday should do the job done, right? All right, guys. Yeah, please. Yeah, so this video is gonna be on YouTube. And yeah, see you soon.